Warriors, NRL fanatics, welcome back to the YouTube channel. But before getting into the video, if you are a new viewer to the channel and you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Click that red subscribe button down below. It is much appreciated. It really helps out the channel and it shows your support for the content and videos that I do. And it's absolutely free and it doesn't cost anything at all. And I'd also like to thank those who have recently subscribed to the YouTube channel. It is really much appreciated. And also don't forget to like the video as well. Click the thumbs up on the video and click the bell so you are notified when I upload any Rugby League World Cup content on the channel or when I go live. But this video is going to be my must-watch Rugby League World Cup pool games. So I've got a couple on this list here. So the first game I have, it is England taking on Samoa. So England versus Samoa. It is the opening game of the Rugby League World Cup. England, they're a team that's been written off by many people in this tournament, and they had a good win in their Rugby League World Cup warm-up game leading into this against Fiji. But look, in saying that, it's a warm-up game and you can't really get a read into that game in particular. Fiji did not play their full-strength side. Yes, England did play well, don't get me wrong, but look, you can't read anything into World Cup warm-up matches. But England, the squad, yes, I personally think the squad is not the best squad in this tournament, but they will be keen to make a mark in this first game. So, one, them being the host nation, so there may be no pressure on them at all, but look, England, they've got the players, they've got some experienced players in the Super League. They've got, some NRL players as well. It's probably not the greatest squad in the world, but in saying that, look, they'll be keen to, make a statement. They'll be keen to let people know that, they're one of the teams that people should be talking about. And for Samoa's come into this Rugby League World Cup with plenty of hype and purely based on their squad that they've named. The likes of Jerome Luai, they've got Brian To'o, they've got a lot of Penrith connection in their side. So Samoa, although they had a very average Rugby League World Cup last time out in 2017, where they did not make it to the quarterfinals, which purely I believe they will make it to the finals this year. The squad's got talent. It's got plenty of good players in there. But the big question for Samoa is, can they get these combinations going together in the first game? In the first game of the tournament. Can they get them going, or will Samoa take a bit more time? Because one being that they had a few NRL players play off in the grand final only a couple of weeks ago, and they weren't in camp. So Samoa would have already flown over, and some players, were still back in Australia. So look, I think England do have the advantage. They do have the advantage being at home, being in their conditions, with the squad being together. So for me, it's definitely a game to watch out for, and it will decide the pool. I reckon it will decide who tops the pool. And one of these teams, they want to lay a marker down earlier in this tournament. So for me, it's a game which I'm really looking forward to the most, actually, at the first couple of games of this tournament. So yeah, England versus Samoa. Can England do it? Can they start off the tournament with a win? Or can Samoa cause an upset? That's going to be the most interesting thing out of it all. So I reckon that's one of the games to watch. You gotta be watching this game. It'll be a game. Could go either way. It could go either way. But obviously, I think England for me will be favourites purely based on home conditions, purely based on the fact that their squad's been together over a couple of weeks now. But Samoa never wrote them off. So Samoa, England, for me, my most watched pool game, my first one on the list. The next game is a game which I think many people are expecting a one-sided scoreline. It's Australia versus Fiji. Australian Kangaroos versus the Fiji Barty. Now, the last couple of World Cups we've seen Australia, well, the one pretty much every time, the last couple of World Cups Australia, they're the favourites, they're the benchmark, they're the favourites to no doubt go on and win another Rugby League World Cup. But in saying that, Fiji last week, in their warm-up game against England, look, I really can't read anything into that. Yes, it looked disappointing the way they played, but we've also got to remember Fiji did not play their best team in that game. They had a few players out. So the Kangaroos, no doubt, hot favourites and should win against Fiji. They probably will put a big score on them. I hope not, personally. I really hope it's a competitive game. But Australia versus Fiji, for me, yes, Australia, last time they played Fiji in the Rugby League World Cup, it was an absolute toweling. Fiji just could not handle the Australian side. I think the Australian side does have the experience over this Fiji side in terms of, big name players, and they've played. Fiji have got the talent, no doubt about it. But I reckon, I still reckon this game will be a game to watch. I really do. And even if Australia do go on and put 40, 50 points on Fiji, I think, just to see this Fiji side in action and see where they're at early in this tournament, for me, that's the reason why it's must watch. Not just because Australia, not because Australia's going to go on and put 40, 50 points on. I just personally don't want to see that. But, I just purely looking at the base in fact of seeing this Fiji talent on the field and seeing also the class of the Australian side as well. So for me, it's a must watch game in this pool stage. And some people may disagree with me. That's fine, but that's what I believe. So the next game I'm talking about now is the New Zealand Kiwis versus Lebanon. So it's another must-watch game for me. Not purely based on the fact of the competition, because I'm expecting the New Zealand Kiwis to really put 40, 30 points on this Lebanon side. It's purely based on the fact that the New Zealand Kiwis will field a very strong side, and a side, with the likes of Joseph Manu, Brandon Smith, Jerome Hughes, Dylan Brown. I'm looking at for the fact of seeing that new spine together at a Rugby League World Cup for the first time. And also looking at the strongest four-pack that we've fielded. So purely based on that, I want to see how they go in that first game of the tournament, see what sort of statement they can make. And the New Zealand Kiwis played a warm-up game against Leeds Rhinos. And Leeds Rhinos, it wasn't their strongest side. It was pretty weak. The Leeds Rhinos were on holiday, really, to be completely honest. Their Super League season ended only a couple of weeks ago. So New Zealand Kiwis versus Lebanon, it's a game I'm looking forward to, purely based on its first game of the pool for New Zealand. And we get to see how New Zealand go in their first game and see if they can make a statement early on. So as for Lebanon, look, I'm looking for to see Lebanon play as well, because Lebanon, they probably don't have the strongest side in this World Cup, but they've got the players. They've got Mitchell Moses coming in there. It's going to be interesting to see how he goes, leading this Lebanon side as a captain. You've got some of the most, NRL players experienced in there. So I'm keen to see what Lebanon can do, but I think purely based on how excited I am to watch this Kiwi side with the four-pack and a new spine and how they combine for this first game. The next game, for me, in my most must-watch Rugby League World Cup pool games, it is Tonga versus PNG. Tonga has come into this tournament, as one of the leading contenders, along with Australia and New Zealand, Samoa as well, if you include them as also. I include Samoa in that picture. Look, Tonga, we know what they did the last Rugby League World Cup. They were in the semi-finals, almost made a final, lost to England. It was a good tournament. And we've seen also Tonga also beat Australia for the first time in the history. They're really much a team we look at as purely, I look into their four-pack as their strongest. And, you know, their spine for me is a bit of a worry going into this tournament. I mentioned it in my, you know, Rugby League World Cup previous videos that I did in terms of the squad reaction. But this PNG side as well, you just can't write off this PNG side. Now, PNG earlier this year against Fiji, they beat this Fiji side. They beat the Fijian side. Now, Fiji were really highly rated over this Papua New Guinea side. So, PNG, although people aren't really talking about them as a threat at this Rugby League World Cup, I still reckon they're one of those quiet achievers that can go out there and beat anyone on their day. So, look, I personally would not be surprised if PNG, Papua New Guinea, beat this Tongan side. I really won't be. I mean, yes, I know you look at it purely on Tonga's got a lot more in terms of their squad over PNG, but PNG can beat this Tongan side. Now, it would be a surprise for a lot of people, but for me, it wouldn't be at all. I mean, I just, you know, I really rate this PNG side this year, and I think PNG versus Tonga, it'd be a very physical encounter. You know, regardless of the scoreline, PNG will put their bodies on the line. They play with a lot of heart. You know, they're passionate about the Rugby League. Rugby League is their national sport there. They don't watch any other sport but Rugby League. So, PNG versus Tonga, for me, it's going to be a physical game. A game which could decide who tops the pool. So, if PNG win this game over Tonga, who knows? They could go on top the pool, and it might surprise a lot of people. But, I mean, it's possible. It's possible. So, Tonga versus PNG is a game I'm really looking forward to. I can't wait to watch it, and it is a game will be much watched as well. It's much watched in terms of seeing how these two teams go. But the last game I've included in my must-watch Rugby League World Cup pool games, it is Papua New Guinea, PNG again. I've got them featuring again, and I've got them, and this is put off against Cook Islands. Now, Cook Islands are a team for me that I'm expecting to really struggle at this Rugby League World Cup, but they've also got some players there that have played NRL before, and you know, another game. It could be a banana skin type of game for Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea will go into this game as hot favourites to win, but I reckon it'll be a lot closer than many people expect. Actually, I think Cook Islands could go out there, you know, nothing, you know, expected of them. There's no expectation on the Cook Islands. Cook Islands could go out there and cause an upset, and it could, you know, it could be telling for PNG at this Rugby League World Cup. So, for me, it's a game that's much watched for sure. I'm looking forward to it, and a game which I think, you know, another one that could see another upset. I talked about Tonga PNG as an upset, PNG winning over Tonga, but Cook Islands being top PNG could be an upset in itself as well. So, yeah, that's my must-watch Rugby League World Cup pool games. Let me know what your thoughts are on these games that I've mentioned down in the comments below. If you agree, if you disagree, let me know in the comments down below. I'd like to hear your must-watch Rugby League World Cup pool games that you are looking forward to. And yeah, if you are a new viewer to the channel, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Click that subscribe button down below. It's much appreciated. It helps the channel out, and it shows your support for the content. And also don't forget to like the video as well, and I'll see you all in the next one.